Welcome back to Collective Perspective, episode 37, guys. Craig, how you been doing, my guy?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
10 out of 10.
We finally meet IRL in less than a month. How do you feel?
I can't wait to meet you and our other pal, Tyler, who gets shouted out too much. It's going to be a good
Tyler's
time.
the homie. Yes, it is.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I live in Texas. Craig's all the way out there in Vegas, and we have never actually met in person. We met through Instagram.
Yeah, I messaged you about one of the... I think it was the Sonic Double Pack for GameCube.
Yeah, might have been vice versa.
Bunch of nerds. Bringing stuff together, one video game at a time.
So you shared with me a screenshot of a comment on social media the other day and proposed that we could do an episode on it. So I'm going to read it real quick. It said,
Yeah.
When did Pokemon TCG's trading card game cards value become more important than the fun of collecting them? In which someone responded, value is connected to anything collectible, so you tell me.
Yeah, that just kind of got me thinking. And for a little bit more context, the video itself was complaining about the last two most recent sets of the Pokemon TCG. They were complaining that there was no cards in the sets worth over $100, so they felt like collecting for the set was pointless. Like there was no point in buying boxes or packs because they weren't going to get anything worth their threshold of what they considered valuable being $100. And I thought that was kind of interesting because I thought that the initial comment was kind of how I view collecting, and I'm like, isn't it supposed to be fun? I mean, I guess sure, if you want to collect things for value, that could be part of it, but I feel like collecting solely for the purpose of value is kind of a soulless way to collect things. I don't know. How do you feel?
I think that's what I did some time thinking about it, and I was originally going with that thought as well, but I started thinking about this video that Greg put out a few weeks ago and how it was all about the Reddit mentality of games are meant to be played and judging people on the way they collect and everything, and it's just a bad habit that a lot of us have gotten into, and I don't think there's anything wrong with collecting for value. I don't think that it's for me. Everyone loves to see that price charting dollar sign go up for their value of their collection, but I know that you and I are not in it for that.
No, we collect garbage, so.
I mean, I get serotonin for freaking picking up a copy of Madden 04 and putting it on the shelf if I don't already have it. Like, obviously way more if I'm picking up Chrono Trigger, but regardless, if you can believe it, I get a little bit of joy out of putting something on my library, so to speak.
No, I'm the same way. I mean, whether it's some sort of filler game, whether it's a childhood game, whether it is a hard-to-find game, I feel like, and even with the shelf collector mentality, I think I always say, and I know you said it too, is, collecting and games and playing games are two totally different hobbies. And I think even if you are a shelf collector, I think that's okay, even if you don't, doesn't need to be for value. What if you just maybe you grew up with all the Spyro games, and you don't have a PS1, you don't have no interest in playing them, they're not worth a lot, but you still want to get all the Spyro games because that's like the mascot of your childhood, so to say. I don't see anything wrong with that either. I mean, when I think about the value of games or value of some of the games that I own, I kind of just see it as a bonus. Like, I would still love my copy of Earthbound complete in box just as much if it was worth $5 to $10. I would have been happier because I could have spent less money buying it in the first place. So if anything, it'd be something that means a lot to me and it'd be affordable. There's a lot of games that I either used to have as a kid or as an adult and sold, and that I would love to have now. And not because of how much they're worth, but just because they have some sort of value to me personally. And I feel like the personal value much more highly outweighs the fiscal value.
Yeah, I think I love video games, and that's like the number one reason. I love the historical important games as well. I love owning the first of something, and I love creating these things that really don't matter to society as a whole in my mind. Like, oh yeah, that's the first appearance of this character. That's something I must have on the shelf. It's
That's
like
because you
nobody
used to
cares
be a
about
comic book
that.
collector.
Right.
That's the old comic book collector mentality in you.
One of these days, I'm going to do a video on first appearances in video games. I've typed up a script and deleted it multiple times just because I don't know how I feel about it.
You should. I think that'd be a really good idea, actually. But yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I guess the person that replied to that comment saying that value is inherently intertwined with collecting. I guess that you can't really argue that that's not the case, because that's kind of how it is with literally anything, whether it's cards, video games. But I don't think that has to matter for you to want to collect, I guess, is the whole thing that I thought was kind of strange about it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize what the context of the video was until right now when you told me, but I think, yeah, I mean, I guess if a person is only in it for the money, then your goal is to either resell it or maybe you just enjoy having things that are worth more than other people. You like showing it off on the Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds like you're trying to compensate for something, though. Like, that seems a little weird to me, too. Like, I don't know. Right next to me, I have probably a little under 1,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Most of them are probably worth, like, 5 to 10 cents. But it's like, I have them because I enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh and collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, not because they're worth anything. I feel like if you're collecting solely for the purpose of value, then if your end goal isn't to just sell it and make money, that seems like a really strange way to go about a hobby. Because, like I said, the value is a nice bonus, but if you're only collecting for value and then you just hold on to that stuff, what's the end goal there? Just to show off? I mean, I guess if you want to do that, but it seems a little egotistical in my opinion.
It does sound strange. I don't know that there could be that many people out there that are just like, yeah, that seems very strange. But if that's how you collect, you got no judgment from me.
I'm not judging either. It just seems like a strange choice to me. Why wouldn't you rather put your money towards something that is, I mean, I guess at that point, useful. Most video games are useless, especially if you're just going to hold on to them and put them on your shelf, not play them. If you're just like going to hold on to these expensive games just for the value, even though they don't have any actual meaning to you. But if it makes you happy, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So, if you collect in that way, I guess comment below and let me know your reasoning, because I'd love to hear why you collect solely for value, even if something doesn't mean anything to you, and just hold on to it. I find it hard to understand that perspective, I guess.
I would like to take this opportunity to dive into the games are meant to be played thing, because we hate that around here. I mean,
yes.
When you put it in the perspective of cards, it's like I don't even know what the primary purpose of cards is at this point, because they have trading card game in the name. It's like they're meant to be swapping hands. Like, I don't understand. Like, is it the primary purpose of a Pokemon card to play it in battle or at this point, or to be the next Logan Paul?
It is, but nobody does. Like, if I had to do like a hard guess of what percentage of people collect Pokemon cards opposed to play them, it's probably like 80% collect them and 20% actually play with them. It's very, very big, and it's kind of interesting because I think that's mostly just Pokemon. Like, most people that collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards also play them. Most people that collect Magic cards also play them. So maybe it's the Pokemon factor, maybe it's the relation to Nintendo factor, but Pokemon does do a lot now that they didn't used to do, and they basically make cards made for collectors, like full art rares and secret rares.
Oh, yeah.
And like a set will be like 150 cards, but then 150 cards will be listed as the set number, but then there'll actually be like 200 cards because there's 50 unlisted cards with like alternative art and things like that. So the Pokemon companies, they know what they're doing when it comes to that. So I think it's just they know their audience, and they're kind of capitalizing on that by making it geared more towards collectors and actual players.
I have had Pokemon cards since I was a kid, and I've never let them go. Barely ever played with them. Definitely tried to as a kid,
It's a fun game. I love the Pokemon card game. I still play it once in a while. It's been a long time since I've been on my Yu-Gi-Oh kick, but I do enjoy the Pokemon card game as well, because it's cool that they like implement the actual evolving mechanics and all that different stuff in it. But it's actually kind of hard to find people to play because most people just they either have no interest or they don't want to play at all. They just want to collect the cards. And then I feel kind of bad because all the cards get scalped, and then it's like these cards are really meant for kids at the end of the day, and there's a bunch of kids that don't have thousands of dollars to drop on the new Pokemon set, and then they can't get anything. But it's a whole mess.
I feel like a lot of Pokemon card people probably do collect for the value, now that I think about it, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all chasing usually one or two cards in there that are worth $100-$200, but the last couple of sets there haven't been that many valuable cards. So, but I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of people complaining about that, and I feel like the solution is then don't buy a $100 box of cards. Just buy the singles if you're worried about the price of it and you still want it, because they're like, oh, you know, you get the number one card in the set and it's only worth $40, but you had to buy a whole box to get it. It's like, no, you could just buy the single. Like, there's definitely solutions out there. And if your problem is that you need the serotonin from opening up the box, then open up a different set. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some solutions out there to not make it that much of a problem, because these are definitely very first world problems to begin with.
Absolutely.
So, if you guys collect solely for value, comment and let us know. We will not judge you, but we would like to see your perspective on why that is the reason that you collect over collecting for any other reason. I would
Your
love to know.
collective perspective.
He said it. He said the thing.
Yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up. I don't have much more to say. We'll see you guys later this month for episode 38.
Yeah, don't play your games. Let them collect dust on the shelf. We'll see you later.